99.7 Joy. Please don't take the joy away from me. Joy. Please don't take the joy away from me. Joy. Please don't take the joy away from me. Joy. Please don't take the joy away from me. Joy. Joy 99.7 FM.
A very good evening to you here on Joy 99.7 FM, exactly 1 minute after the hour of 9. Today is Sunday, the 15th of August 2021, a day the Lord has made. We rejoice and we're glad in it. You're welcome to your favorite Christian infotainment program, A Walk with Jesus, with me, Ato Acquah, right here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm ably supported by my producer, Michaela Nye. Last week, we started a conversation on what the Bible says about cohabitation and sex before marriage. Today, we continue with sex in marriage. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3 and verse 4 says, the husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Tonight on A Walk with Jesus, we want to understand what God's purpose for sex in marriage is, the place of sex in marriage, what men need to understand about women when it comes to sex in marriage, and vice versa, what women need to understand about men when it comes to sex in marriage. Interesting, right? How often couples should have sex in marriage is another issue we are going to be addressing, and whether frequent marital intercourse could serve as a guard against a lustful heart. These and many more about sex in marriage we are going to be discussing tonight. And I'm excited not only because of the subject, but because of the guests we have. I'll be introducing our resourceful guest in due time. However, kindly share your comments with us. We can get interactive in due time. So share your comments with us, share your questions with us via WhatsApp on 055-1111-997. We are live on Facebook as well. So log on to the Joy FM Facebook page and share the link. We're also live on YouTube and Twitter. So do well to share the links. Share the Facebook link, the YouTube, the Twitter link, and let us get connected and discuss this all-important subject. This is A Walk with Jesus. My name is Ato Acquah, and we'll be right back after this.
From the very first time that I set my eyes on you, I didn't feel Cupid's arrow. It was no love at first sight, but I knew there was something so special about you. Baby girl, as I got to know you, you've turned this boy into a man, and my mistakes into a plan. So I never let you go. the center of my joy, and this is the woman I love. No one else can make me say I do. She makes me go. She makes me go. She makes me go. No one else can make me say I do. Oh, what a gift from the Almighty God. She's so selfless and understanding. I can't explain it. Oh, she's amazing. She's no fair weather friend. I'd give anything just to have a laugh at her. So she's my shining star, and as the days go by, I found the reason why this little boy should be a man. Turn my mistakes into a plan, so I never, never, never let her go. This is the woman I love. She's the center of my joy. This is the woman I love. No one else can make me say I do. She makes me go. She makes me go. She makes me go. Ooh, no one else can make me say I do. I promise to be the love of your life. I promise to make you my queen and my wife. I promise there'll be no reasons for you to let go, let go, let go, let. I promise to be your man. I promise I'll remain your husband and friend. I promise there'll be no reason for me to let go, let go, let go, let go. This is the woman I love. She's the center of my joy. This is the woman I love. I place the one above her. Ooh, yeah.
All right, so that's a beautiful song there coming from the ministry of Timi Dakolo. This is the woman I love. We are discussing sex in marriage tonight on A Walk with Jesus. If you're a product of sex, if you have anything to do with sex, this has to do with you. So make sure you're glued to your set, as we have a lot to learn. My guest tonight is... In fact, he needs no introduction, but I would have to introduce him, especially on this platform, on Joy 99.7. Uncle Ebo Whyte, CEO of Roverman Productions and author of Let's Talk About Sex, is my guest tonight on A Walk with Jesus. Uncle Ebo,
yes, sir.
A very good evening to you, sir.
Well, thank you for having me, and good evening.
I miss you.
That's a wrap.
I shouldn't go there, cry.
No. So I can say you there.
Oh, I do. My Kubolo mom, but I do. I do.
It's interesting. You know, I used to produce this program.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was the producer of all the Christian programs on Joy FM.
I see. I don't know about that. I know that you used to head the Christian department.
Yes.
But I never knew you used to produce.
Yes, I used to produce the programs.
Wow.
And then also, yes, there is a statement you made that if you are a product of sex, we are all products of sex. I think the only one who can say he wasn't a product of sex was Jesus Christ.
Well, true.
But every single one of us, if you are a human being, that is how you came.
Sure. If you were born of a woman, then you are a
that's how you
product of
came.
sex.
That's how you came.
Yes. Uncle Ebo,
yes, sir.
On that note, I would want us to find out from you, what is it about sex that it's so critical when it comes to the institution of marriage?
We forget, and Christians in particular have had a very uncomfortable relationship with the whole issue of sex. That we forget that the marriage is essentially a sexual institution.
Marriage
is
a
essentially
sexual institution. Okay.
A sexual institution. So if you take sex out of marriage, call it another name, it can't be marriage.
That's profound. If you take sex out of marriage, marriage is not marriage.
Call it any other name, but it is not marriage. If it is marriage, there must be, it is sexual. So marriage is an institution established by God, yes. But God, in instituting that, made it a sexual relationship. You know, Pastor Ato, we all have all kinds of relationships. We have relationships with our parents. We have relationships with our siblings. We have relationships with even our colleagues. We have relationships with all kinds of friends, schoolmates, and things like that. And some of those relationships can mean so much to us. But they can all be called, you can call them even love relationships. But you can't call any of them marriage. Marriage is the only relationship where sex has its place.
So it's the element of sex that makes marriage marriage.
Different from all the others. Otherwise, what's the difference?
Wow. And what's God's purpose for putting sex in marriage?
That one, if you go into any wedding, they will tell you procreation, but that is only one. Christians are not comfortable with the fact that God also intended pleasure for sex. We don't like that. Yeah, we don't like that. But it is part of it. It is a key component of it. Why did God create Eve? It was not that God did not say, the Bible does not say that, and God looked at the creation and said, it is not good that there are no children hanging around.
I haven't thought of that.
He didn't say that.
He said it's not
God
good
could,
for man to be alone.
To be alone. God could have given children and could have increased the population of the world in any other way. But he decided to kill two stones with one bird. The guy needs a companion. He needs someone to keep his company. He needs someone to not just keep his company, because then in that case, if you are living in the same house with your siblings, they're keeping you company. Do you understand me? Some classmates can become so close that they can become companion. But no, he meant something else. Let there be delight, let there be pleasure in this. And it is interesting that there is a book of the Bible that people only go to when they are not Christians. The moment they become Christians, they don't read it.
What book is that?
Song of Solomon.
Oh, okay.
Song of Solomon.
I see. It's the non-Christians who go there.
When people are not Christians, that's one of their favorites. That and Psalms. But they go there, they pick the raps in there and put it in their love letters. The moment we become Christians, we run away from that book. Because we are not comfortable with the subject. And I've read all these professors and theologians who say, no. It's an analogy of Christ and the church. Yes, it is. But it is also an instruction of the relationship between husband and wife. That one, Christians are not comfortable. And until Christians learn to be comfortable with the total counsel of God, we would always say that, oh, no, this can't be God. This one, God, it can't be God, or how can God be interested in this? Yes, very. And when a husband and wife have a good sexual life, it pleases God. They are not sinning. That's what he caused it to put in the Bible, that the marital bed is undefiled. He put it there. It wasn't Pastor Ato who put it there.
Wow.
The church needs to have another view of marriage as a sexual institution, of the place of sex between husband and wife. We need to have a healthier understanding of it. In the absence of the healthy understanding of it, you know what is happening? I've been a counselor. I've been a counselor of marriages, relationships for a long time. When sex is good, all other issues in the relationship are solved easily.
Okay, I'm sitting well.
When sex is good.
In all these years of being a marriage counselor, that's what you found out.
When sex is good, all other issues in the relationship can be handled.
Is that to say that
when sex is not good, even minor issues become major issues and blow up?
So that is to say that most of the marital problems hang on sex.
They do. No, the marital problems are there. They would always be there. But whether we are even interested in saving this marriage or not, whether we are even interested in ensuring that we have a good relationship and sustain it or not, depends on whether the sex is good or not. If the sex is not good, every little thing becomes a big wahala.
Wow.
If the sex is good, we have more patience. Then if his sex is good, he's also much more attentive. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, and things like that. You know, every counselor has had this situation where a couple appears before him, and then yes, you came to see me. What is it? Ask him. then he goes. Oh, you should ask who? Ask her. Then, today he should ask me, and things like that. You know, if you're an experienced just as I am.
I'm imagining that in front of you.
You cut it all down and say, when was the last time you had sex? And how was it?
I'm very sure that this is as a result of lack of understanding. Uncle, well, I would want you to
more lack of teaching, and then the kind of socialization. We all are socialized. It begins with when we are growing up, especially in our part of the world. When I was growing up in a Christian faith, we had 3 sins.
Okay.
Fornication, drinking, smoking.
I think he hasn't changed that much.
Those were the 3 sins, the 3 cardinal sins. You can be proud. It doesn't matter. You can come to fellowship. But go and get pregnant. Hey! No. So those were the 3 sins. And then we are told the do's. Oh, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex. Sex is bad, sex is evil, sex is bad, sex is evil. And it gets into your psyche.
Okay.
Then one day you marry, and suddenly it's okay to have sex. And nobody has worked on changing the programming they put in your mind that sex is wrong.
That is where the church has got it wrong.
Yeah, that's why society has got it wrong. Don't let us blame the church, because the church is also a product of the society. A lot of the values that the church holds, they get picked from the society, the attitudes. So, sex is wrong, don't do it, 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 don't do it. Then one day you do, I do. You say, I do. And then suddenly everybody expects that, oh, you should be an expert. It should come naturally. No, it doesn't come naturally. It doesn't.
So what do we do, Uncle Ebo?
Well, I think we are talking about it. That's why I've written a book.
Learning.
Let's see whether whether people.
You will have to get this book. We're going to talk about this book. I find it very interesting. I've not finished reading it, but some salient points that I've encountered in a couple of days. I must admit that this book should be in the hands of every human being. Okay.
I'll find out how much you've learned from it soon, but let's take a little break.
All right, then we'll take a musical break, and we'll be back with Uncle Ebo Whyte. We're going to be learning a lot about sex in marriage. Don't flip the dial. Keep your dial locked here on 99.7 FM. Right. Okay. I understand. I've got a couple of messages. So let me see. Kweku Adebri says that please underline sex as the denominator in the definition of marriage as a description of relationship. Okay. Underline sex. All right. This one says that, Kweku Adabri from Ijumako. Okay, this one says, Pastor Ato, my husband and I have been married for a year and a half. And honestly, I can count the number of times we have had sex. For a year and a half? Wow. I don't enjoy having sex with him again. But because I don't want him going out or masturbating, I apply oil and always have him. I've spoken several times about this approach, and yet he hasn't changed. I hope I'm not sinning. Well, Uncle Ebo is going to be addressing that pretty soon. Okay, Uncle Ebo is going to be addressing that. This one says that, good evening, Joy FM. One major problem Okay, I think that's another. So we're going to take a musical break, and when we come back, there's so much to learn. I pray that we would have ample time for that to learn from Uncle Ebo regarding sex in marriage. We'll be right back.
Like an angel in the morning, shooting star across the night. The most beautiful girl I've seen in all my life. Every second spent with you, it's like a day that starts brand new. Girl, I'm so amazed at all the things you do. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. And girl, you are my sunshine, baby, don't you go away. I want me, all over me, already I like you. I will love you forever. I want me, all over me, already I like you. I will love you forever. I hear music in your words and in the way you call my name. When you're by my side, I can't do anything. You're my best friend, you're my lover. Without you, no one else would do. Through thick and thin, I know we'll make it true. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always.
All right, so you're welcome back. We are treating sex in marriage, and Uncle Ebo Whyte is our guest, the author of Let's Talk About Sex. Uncle Ebo,
Yes, sir.
I'm a man, a Christian. I'm happily married
Yes.
by God's grace.
No,
What-
you are married.
I'm married
Yes.
by God's grace.
No, happily
What-
married, we'll have to ask your wife.
We're
No,
happily
no, no,
married.
no, 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 because this is one of the things. Men are so simple and easy that when we think we are enjoying sex,
We think they are as
enjoying our marriage, it is a very different story for our wives.
Wow.
Because, Pastor Ato,
So if your Uncle Ebo is going to call you and ask you whether you're enjoying or please say yes.
no,
Please say yes. Save my head and say yes.
don't mind him. I know the story. Too late to warn her. You see, let's and listen. Forgive me if I'm being real, but I think that every now and then it pays for us to be honest with each other and not hide a lot of things, sweep a lot of things under the spiritual thing. People must understand sex is a spiritual thing. Sex is spiritual. And if there's time, I'll go into it. But I was saying that when it comes to sex, especially, and even marriage in general, we men are so easy that it is very easy to think all is going on well when nothing is going on well. And let me use the issue of sex. Pastor Ato, when I get an erection, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Once Kojo Mensa stands at attention, I want action. Okay? Now, we assume that because my Kojo Mensa has stood at attention and I need action,
She should be ready.
she should be ready. No. Because you see, women do not separate sex as an act from the total relationship. Women do. I can be upset with Florence and still have sex with her. Do you understand me? I can be upset with her, and if I want sex, I want sex. If she says no, well, you're my wife. Would use a bit of buga buga and get it.
And we're okay.
And we're okay. Yes. If you ask me the next day, how was it? Oh, we had a fantastic sex life. You know why? Because Kojo Mensah stood at attention, Testosterone was flowing. I needed release.
I
I got a
climaxed.
release. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm fine. I roll over. I sleep. That's a man. For a woman, sex is linked with how she feels about you. It is linked to how she feels about herself. It is linked to how she feels about our relationship. It is linked to all that. For a woman, sex means it's not an act. It is the highest expression of her love. And she assumes that you too, that's what it means to you. She doesn't understand that, women don't understand that for a man, sex is physiological, just like the hunger for food. You know, for a lot of men, that is what it is. But for a woman, no, it is not. It's emotional.
So when a woman says, I'm not in the mood, she's not just talking about the act, she's referring to something more.
She's referring
just
to
that
you.
moment.
I don't like you. You did something that I'm not happy with. You've not been attentive to me. You've not been nice. And I said that the code for making love to a woman is be nice to the girl. If you're a man and you haven't learned to make love to a woman's heart and mind, you've never made love to a woman before.
Say that again, please.
If you're a man and you've never learned to make love to a woman's mind and her heart, you've never made love to a woman before. Or, to change it, a woman has never made love to you before.
What's the difference?
You can have sex with a girl without the girl having sex with you.
How? There was penetration.
Yes, she puts her body down. She doesn't participate. She's out. She does what I call crucify me.
I wouldn't say
So you just go, yes. Penetration, yes. Some men don't even bother about tuning the woman in. They just use lubrication. So whether she's lubricated or not, well, lube does the work, does it. You get, after all, when you're even masturbating, you got release, you got ejaculation anyway. So you will get ejaculation. That is a man because it is mechanical. For a woman, it is emotional.
So Uncle Ebo,
That's how come you could have sex with a woman and she will not climax. And a lot of wives don't know what climax is. They've never experienced it.
So how do we meet midway?
No, there's no midway. No, there's no.
And I'm satisfied.
There's no midway. The thing is, be nice to the girl. It's a very simple strategy. Be nice. Learn to talk with the woman. Convince the woman, I care. I care about you. Convince her. Convince her with your actions. Convince her with your words. I care about you. That's it. It's as simple as that. Women are so complicated. Much more complicated than we are. Okay? I tell people that the difference, and this doesn't even do justice to the difference. The difference between a man and a woman is the difference between calculator, your Makola calculator,
Yes.
and iPad.
Okay.
With the woman being the iPad and the man being Makola calculator, that can only do addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. That's the Makola calculator.
The iPad does more.
That's much, much more. But guess what? You don't need a manual to understand to use the iPad. None of us has a manual for iPad. That is how women are. Sophisticated, complicated. But once you get a few things, you can make it work for you. You can make a woman work for you. And what are some of the things to get? She wants to know, do you care? She wants to know, do I matter to you? She wants to know, am I the most important thing in your life? If you say I am, then when you come home, put your phone away. Let's talk. Talk with me. Just that. Ask me how my day was. You too, share with me how your day was, because I want to be a part of you. So don't just come and just go. Pastor Ato has come from a walk with Jesus, and then he goes and sleeps. You have failed. She wakes up for you. Maybe she even opens the door for you. Oh, how did it go? Oh, I had a meeting. Uncle Bo, did you listen? Uncle Bo was there. Let's have a little conversation. She's not asking for much. How's Uncle Bo looking now? Oh, he was looking good, and that kind of thing. Oh, by the way, he's going to call you to ask you what success in life is.
Uncle Ebo, you haven't forgotten about this thing.
Make sure you tell him something because that man, he will use it on air. So,
I thought you had dropped it.
you understand? But what you are doing is that
Wow.
you are bonding with her. Women believe in bonding. But what does average man come? He comes from work, and then I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. You're going to sleep, sir. I waited for you. You're the reason why I'm still awake. Then, so you see, you come from a walk with Jesus. You won't talk with me. You just go straight and you sleep. Then, at about 3:30, you say anointing has come. You want to minister. Oh, you go with administration.
That pulpit Monday, yeah. You won't stand behind it.
If we had had the time to talk, if we had had this thing, then she goes to bed knowing that I am still, I matter to my husband. Oh, when he came, we talked. You told me what went on. So if in the middle of the night you initiate something, she's more than willing to please. Every woman wants to please a man. Every woman. Every woman enjoys sex.
Really?
Every woman. But they enjoy total sex, not just penetration. Penetration means nothing to them.
So all the things that lead to that act for a woman is part of the sex.
It is all the relationship.
Sex could begin from the morning. And
It could begin from 2 days ago. Yes. It could begin from no. If you wait to start sex when you are in bed, you have failed, young man. You have failed. And if you have sex and you roll over and sleep, and your wife is not asleep, you have failed. I tell people that if you like to show you what kind of person you are, when you are about to have sex with your wife, just before it, put on a song. If the song ends before your sexual act, scratch it. You failed.
Uncle,
If the song ends before you are done, scratch it. Why? At that time, she's just warming up, getting into it, and there are some men. I say that there are some men who, if they were players, will get injured while they are warming up for a match.
Uncle Ebo, I am horny. I am erect. What else should happen is penetration.
Yes.
So why should I wait for you to warm up? Quite worried.
Yes. It's called foreplay. The interesting thing with foreplay is that it helps a man to last longer.
Okay.
It's not just for lubricating the woman. That is there. But there are men, like I'm saying, there are men who get injured before the match starts. Just warming up for the match.
When you're injured.
When you're injured. When you're injured. But if there's proper foreplay, which is proper warm-up even for a game, you save yourself injury.
So we've been made to think,
it helps.
We've been made to think that foreplay is to help the woman. In fact, it
is to help the man as well. It helps you to last longer. When you've had good foreplay, you will last longer. Plus, the woman is happier. You are also happy. So that is how, if we say that married men live longer, there should be a caveat. Married men who seek to please their wife sexually, they last longer. Because the process of pleasing them would help diffuse all stress in you, all tension in you. It will rejuvenate you. For instance, you leave from here and you go home and you have a good chat with your wife. Before you sleep, you wake up much more refreshed than you go straight from here and go to bed, even if it has been stressful. So that's how you die young. But that woman is in your life to make you last longer. And part of it is please her. Please her, make her happy.
dear friend, sex is a whole school. We have to. Right. This one says that say all women don't have same character. 100 women, 100 character. So if you think strategy to them is, oh, I don't really get your message, Daniel. All right. I'm very sure I'll understand later. If you could just clarify yourself, okay? I'll be glad. All right. Yes, I'm going to make Uncle Ebo address the issue when we come back. I'm going to make Uncle Ebo address the issue of the lady who's been married for a year and a half and has issues. But let's go on Facebook and check what our friends are saying on Facebook. Let me see.
So I promise you forever and for always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby. Don't you go away. I want me, all over me, already I like you. I will love you forever. I want me, all over me, already I like you.
All right, a couple of messages here. This one says that Uncle Abu, tell our husbands, so African men always want to jump on their wives without foreplay. Nana Yensua says so. Debbie Esiedua the Queen says, God bless you, Uncle Abu. God bless you for this show, all right? God bless you as well. This one is also... okay, a lot of people saying God bless you there. This one says that I am watching from Olebu City. Okay, all right. Lot more messages coming in, and Uncle Ebo is going to be addressing the subject. Sarah Boatma Boating says that interesting topic. Right. So keep doing the listening. All right. Okay. So it's still a walk with Jesus here on Joy 99.7 FM. Uncle Ebo,
Yes, sir.
a lady that she's been married to the husband for a year and a half.
Yes.
And she doesn't enjoy sex with the husband. Michaela, if I could read that message for Uncle Ebo to address it. He said that, Pastor Ato, my husband and I have been married for a year and a half, and honestly, I can count the number of times that we've had sex. I don't enjoy having sex with him again. Because I don't want him to go out or masturbate, I apply oil and allow him. I've spoken several times about his approach, and yet he hasn't changed. I hope I'm not sinning.
No, you're not sinning. But shame on your husband.
Oh,
he's feeling big time.
she's saying because of his approach. What kind of approach could
He doesn't
make a
prepare
woman-
her. That's why he said, I apply lubricant. So he's not even helping her to get into the act. As soon as he gets an erection, where's the lubricant? Let's apply it. Then there's penetration, ejaculation. I'll finish. Roll over, sleep. God is good. Shame on you. That is not sex.
Wow.
No, that is not sex. And you will die quickly.
Oh.
Because you see, the blessings of sex, you're not having sex with a woman. The woman may just be a sex toy that you use to satisfy yourself. Instead of you, has he thought of pleasuring his wife? Because that is part of it. As a man, that should be your focus. Let me pleasure this woman. I don't think that boy has
What
it
are
in
some
mind.
of the practical ways to do that?
So, first start with the relationship you have with her. Let it be a warm one. Let there be let there be a lot of attention, a lot of quality time spent together. When you come to this, let there be thoughtfulness even in the process. You must know what pleases her. You must watch her. And you must understand that the foreplay cannot be skipped. Let's go the long haul. Then, of course, comes the act itself. But there's a third part of sex, which a lot of men ignore.
What's the
It's called afterglow.
afterglow?
Afterglow. After the sex, after you have ejaculated, and if she is fortunate to climax, not many women, this woman I don't think has climaxed before with her husband. Hold her as she sleeps in your arms.
Afterglow.
Afterglow. If she wants to talk, listen and participate, or you talk to her. That period is a period when she's at her warmest towards you, most loving towards you. And that period, you must also show, I am here for you.
Can that have an influence on the next?
Oh, yes. That's
sex?
the beginning of foreplay for the next act.
I see. Afterglow.
Afterglow.
I'll add that to my
So
repertoire.
3 parts. Three parts to the whole sexual encounter. Foreplay, the act itself, and then the afterglow where I make the woman feel good that she has me in her life. I make her feel good that I make her know that I appreciate the fact that you give yourself to me. That what we do means so much to me, and I appreciate you.
Right.
I may do that with words. I may do that with gestures. Then part of afterglow is that the next day, be nice to the girl. When you've had sex with a girl, that's not the time that you wake up the next day. Hey, look, you are late. You are making me late. You are making me late. I will leave you. I will leave you. No, Cratchy. Then what is the value of what we did? That's the time to go and say, oh, my dear, we ran. Okay, what can I do so you can? Okay, let me iron your thing for you, or let me take care of the children. Let me fix breakfast. Oh, don't worry about breakfast. Get one on the way. Be nice and tender to the girl.
That's all they're looking
because you'll be coming back again.
Afterglow.
You'll be coming back again. Oh, you'll be coming back again.
Okay, well, there's an interesting message here.
Yes.
This is from Papani.
Yes.
And Papani is saying that, thank you, a walk with Jesus. Sex can be used as punishment. Is that right? This is a man asking this.
Papani, make your confession properly. What have you done?
But Uncle,
No,
right?
no,
There are a lot of wives who do that.
We say she's punishing me for it, but she's not. Because see, when you've offended a woman, she can't give herself willingly to you. She may try, she can't. If you've lied to her and she's found out that you've lied to her, she can't give herself to you. Because suddenly she feels insecure. She feels unsafe in this relationship. He lied to me. What don't I know? If you've been rude and shabby with her or snapped at her, she can't quite get into the mood. If there's an issue we haven't resolved, for you to say, I am sorry and apologize, then why is he doing this?
Uncle, but if sex doesn't go well between husband and wife, does it mean the man is always at fault?
No. But we have the control. God bless us with control. God bless us with a creature that wants to please us. She's called a woman. She's called a wife. Her highest ambition is to make us happy. Any woman. To make her husband happy. If the husband shows himself man enough, and man has nothing to do with how big your penis is, how strong your erection is, how powerful your thrusting is in the act. It has more to do whether you are making love to her heart and to her mind, whether you're making her feel happy. You're making her feel like a woman, that I have a man who cares for me.
Could there not be a case where a man has done all he can do and yet the wife is not forthcoming?
There could be. Then there are some other issues to look at. That is not a normal situation. So we have to look at even the whole process of how did you get this woman in the first place? How did this marriage come on?
Okay.
To begin with. Are there some issues in the past we haven't resolved? Do you understand me? Are there some issues? Because sometimes men do things and they think the woman doesn't know because she hasn't raised it. But women have what I call WNN.
What's that?
Women News Network. It is more powerful than CNN. Men don't know this. Men, there's a secret men should know. If I meet your wife and she gives me a message for Florence, I may not even take it. She would have to meet Florence herself to say, "Oh, I gave Uncle." Then she will come home and confront. "Oh, yeah, she did." But so what? Men don't report the sightings of the women of the men they know. We don't report it. So, for instance, if you meet Mrs. Whyte, let's say at the airport, you will not call me. Later on, when we meet, some weeks later, you say, "Oh, I met Mama." Do you understand? But you won't call me immediately. I say, "Oh, Uncle, but guess what? Mama is here. I'm even talking with her." Women do so. There's an unwritten law among women that if you see my man in any contest, Papa Bonimo, call and report that you've seen him there.
I see.
So, and remember, not all women who know you would show themselves they know you and your wife. Oh, that's Agie's wife, Agie's husband. That's Agie's husband. Hey, now why not me? Girl, be not me. Hey, yeah, man, yeah, I saw free. And things like that. Then she will call.
WNN.
WNN.
We are not safe, oh.
So, no, we are very, very safe. Let your life be correct. So by the time you come home, by the time you go home, the information is already there.
Wow.
The correspondents of CNN have filed a report. Whether she asks you about it or not is another matter. So sometimes you do not know the report you've been filed. So for instance, you said you left here, we finished this program at 10, and so as soon as we left, then you had to go into a meeting with Michaela and a few other people, and then we had to discuss next week's program because there's some issue that has come up. So I left Joy at 11:30. Meanwhile, WNN has reported
But at 11:30.
that they cited you at Dansoman
At 11:30.
at 11. Do you understand me?
I get it.
So you go home and you think you are being smart. The information is not because say if the BNN doesn't file the encounter immediately, they will file it later. So what I found out is that if you lie to anybody, not your wife, you go. You tell her the truth. It may upset her. She may cry. She may call you names, but you saved yourself and the relationship going forward. As against, you lie to save your face today, then 3 months down the line, a month down the line, 2 weeks down the line, or even 6 months down the line, she missed somebody. "Oh, I should have called you. Yeah, my old bonny pa, my old bonny, yeah, Ajua. Who couldn't know what to say? Oh, no, yeah, no, Ajua, shani yo, and what bompire, and yo. By the way, who couldn't our sister be ever Kaswana?
Oh, they are reporting you. I don't know.
David, no, he's a correspondent of WNN. He's a fan of the report.
And Pastor Ato, in my case, we can have sex for 2 or 3 days continually. And if he comes again the next day, and for some genuine reason, I'm unable to give to him, he's angry.
Yeah, he's not being sensitive to the wife.
He's not being reasonable.
No. He's putting his needs above that of the woman.
Okay, but this brings to mind a question. The number of times doesn't matter, as in number of rounds.
No. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. It's up to the two of you. And that is why those things cannot be legislated by anybody. Because you see, if you take the sexual act as the highest expression that my wife and I have for communicating our love for each other, then it doesn't matter how we do it when we do it, as long as we are communicating our love for each other.
I see. That's interesting. I've learned a lot just in a couple of minutes. It's amazing. Time flies. Hi, good evening. I'm enjoying the show. I am married for 13 years and I have never climaxed in our marriage.
Kuse, but you are not alone. A lot of women can make the same admission.
He says he only has good terms with me
when he wants sex. So I'm not reading it. I'm just finishing it. I'm finishing it because I know I'm a counselor.
That's what
He's only nice. He's only nice when he wants sex, and the women know. They notice it.
Wow.
So the next time you come home, oh Heidi, how was your day? Then in her mind, foolish man, you want the thing to know.
All right, then let's talk about the book. Let's talk about sex. Okay, so I have a snapshot of one of the statements that hit me with regards to the book. Okay, and let me just let you know, my dear friend, as you are listening to us. It's in page 7. It says that marriage is not all about sex, but without sex, it is not marriage.
Yes.
Every human being has several relationships. We have relationships with our parents, with our siblings, with our friends, schoolmates, colleagues, and even in the office. But marriage is not all about sex. However, without sex, marriage is not marriage.
Yes.
That's very profound for
and that is very true. And that is very true. That is why even in law, it is permitted. If you go for 2 years without sexual encounter with your wife, that marriage can be annulled.
Oh, I see. I'm learning that just now.
That marriage can be annulled if she makes a case for it. Or if one of you, it can be either the man or the woman, makes a case that we've gone for 2 years without sexual intercourse. That can be annulled.
And dear friend, if you get a copy of this book, you're going to learn so much about sex, the place of sex in marriage, you and sex, intimacy and romance. Foreplay is a whole chapter. The
Afterglow is also a whole chapter. It's also a whole chapter because this is very important.
And a lot more. Uncle Ebo, what inspired the writing of this book? You've written a couple of books, but why this book at this time?
I ran away from writing this book for 5 years.
Okay.
I was scared to write it.
So this book has been in the womb for 5
years?
Yes.
I was scared to write it.
Why?
One, I know the position and the mindset of Christians with these matters. I know that there are people who are not even going to read it, but will decide that they know what is inside and condemn it. I know that. I also realize that to say I'm writing a book on sex, what you are saying is that you are an expert on sex. I'm not. I'm a student of sex with one woman. Let me be clear about that. Because that is what honors God. I am a student of sex with one woman. We've been married for 38 years. Still learning how to please and pleasure that woman on a regular basis. Still learning.
Still learning after 38 years.
After 38 years. Getting better, but still learning. Because you are not the same man who married.
Yes.
Neither is she. And especially in the case of a woman, men don't know this. But you may be married to one woman. But depending on the time of the month, you are married to a different woman. In all, every month, you are married to 4 women.
Same woman, but 4 women.
4 women. 4 manifestations of the same woman. If you're a Christian, it shouldn't be difficult for you to accept it. Because we have Trinity.
The Father, Son, and the Holy.
But the same
different
God.
dimensions, but
But
same
one
God.
God. So we must understand the woman going through ovulation is very different from the woman going through having her menstruation. The woman who had just come out of her menstruation is very different from the woman who was ovulating. Different. And when I say different, it's different.
Yeah.
Men don't know that because we don't go through those things. We know a few changes in a man. The man who is horny, the man who has been satisfied, or the man who is broke, and the man who has got money, who's had a lot of money in his pocket. 2 different men.
Wow.
When a man is broke, he's different.
Yeah.
When he has money, he's different.
It's different.
But women depend on the time of the month. They are different. And remember, as they grow, that time is not even regular. So the time when she ovulates is different from the time when the menstruation
When
comes
she starts
in.
hitting menopause, it's another matter.
Oh, that one, you need double portion of anointing.
I see.
But it's a wonderful world. So that is it. But
inspired the
then
writing
it gets
of
to
this.
it got to the point where it became quite clear the Spirit of God wanted this book out. Whether I am crucified for it or not is irrelevant. It honors Him, and I'm happy that it does.
Uncle Ebo, with the little I have encountered, this is going to help a lot of marriages, especially young
It will help
ones.
those who want to be helped. Let's make it clear. Because there are people who are going to come to me with all kinds of interesting arguments. Oh, no. You know, there's yo, stay that way. Because I always say that every one of us has a right not to learn. Or you can decide you don't want to learn. After all, take school. You have a right to decide. That's your right. But when you are paying the price too for that decision,
Know that you chose to do
you
so.
chose to do so.
That's
So you have a
interesting.
right to learn how to please your wife, how to pleasure your wife. A woman, you have a right to learn how to please your man and pleasure him. You have a right to know. You have a right also to decide that I don't want to learn. Your choice. But remember, whatever a man sows,
that he reaps.
he reaps.
We're getting a lot of such cases. So I'm seeing on our screen again another person. Well, I don't want to mention your name. Says I've been married for over 13 years, no climax.
Yes.
We keep getting a lot of no climax.
Because
So
Christian
many
men are
years.
not trying. Ghanaian men generally are not trying.
Yeah,
They are going to crucify me for this. And so, who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? That Uncle Ebo crying. What's he saying? Who does he think he is? I am your humble brother. I am saying that I started from somewhere. In this book, I talk about my honeymoon. It was pathetic. Because I had married without touching a woman.
Yeah.
You know, and the honeymoon was bad. I didn't know a thing. It was a week later that a missionary who we had encountered at church gave us a lift. And when he did, he pulled off the road and said, I think you will need some... He just looked at me and Florence and said, I've been in this country for long enough. I am sure there's an area that your counselor did not touch on. And then he pulled off and taught us how to have sex.
Wow. That was your deliverance.
That was my deliverance. That and the book called The Act of Marriage by Tim LaHaye.
Okay. Very
You
popular.
know, so that book, a colleague had given me that book as my present, wedding present. So I took that book on my honeymoon. So Pastor Ato, here I was in my honeymoon first night with the book and saying, wait, friends, it says that the clitoris should be somewhere here. Where's the clitoris?
Please do well to get a copy.
But thank God, God is merciful. If you want to learn, if you're open to learn, He teaches you. The Spirit of God, people do not know, but the Spirit of God can teach you about sex.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, as I open myself up to him, friends and I open ourselves up to him, I think he's brought us a long way. And now, I think our sex life is far better
Than it was before.
than it was before.
Wow.
Not as energetic as it was,
But it's better.
but far, far better and more meaningful.
I would like to share that testimony when I am 60 and over.
You will. You will. Pastor
So
Ato.
please do well to get a copy of the book. You'll get some at the front desk of Joy FM. Apart from the front desk, Uncle Ebo, where can we get
Airport
a copy?
Shell, but on a total Committee 11 Shell. And then if you also call 050 554 6010, you'll get one delivered to you.
Right. So this is where we wrap up on today's edition of A Walk with Jesus. It's been insightful. We've had Uncle Ebo Whyte with us. I pray that couples who have listened to us and who will be listening to us or watching us on Facebook will do a lot of learning. Do well to get a copy of the book. It will help you. Up next is Jazz on Joy with Uncle Ken. Many thanks to Michaela. Many thanks to Biggie. And to you, my cherished listener. God willing, tomorrow, join us on Joy Time in His Presence. Pastor Kojo Frimpong will be blessing us on
And
Joy Time in His Presence.
let me greet the young man, the youngest man at Joy. The youngest man at Joy.
Good evening.
Good evening. People don't know that you and I will go back a long way.
I know.
Oh,
I know,
really?
they don't
Oh,
know.
we go back a
Yes.
long way.
I see.
And we are good friends.
Yes,
We don't meet often, but anytime we meet, we are able to pick it up from wherever we've met
exactly.
because we have a good foundation.
I see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
Very
and by the way,
interesting.
I'm returning to the theater on the 4th and 5th of September with Devil's Wife.
Yeah.
So tickets are
Okay.
available here. Join us there, and then copies of the book will be available there. Once again, please don't take offense at me. I'm a messenger.
Not
Keke.
at all. We've learned.
I'm a messenger. Keke.
We've learned. Thank you very much. God richly bless you. Stay on top, still rise. We're out. Jazz on Joy is up next.